My dear brothers and sisters, let me begin by telling you something very important. You are not late. Many people enter a new year carrying regret. Look at my age. Look at where others are. Look at what I failed to achieve. But life does not work on your personal timetable. Growth is not a race, and success is not a competition. Every person has a different journey, a different pace, and a different lesson to learn. Our sending our salute is not too late. If you woke up today, then your opportunity is alive. As long as your heart beats, rebuilding is possible. The mistake is not failing before it is believing that failure disqualifies you from starting again. Some people bloomed early. Others bloom later, and some only bloom after hardship shapes them. Delay is not denial. Rebuilding begins inside. Before you rebuild your career, your finances, or your status, rebuild yourself. You rebuild your mindset, your discipline, your habits, your character. Ask yourself, how do I speak to myself? How do I respond to challenges? Do I act with purpose or with impulse? Karen Slaterfin, when the inside is repaired, the outside follows naturally. Educate yourself daily. Rebuilding is an educational process. Learn something every day. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from people who inspire you. Learn patience when progress feels slow. Knowledge without action changes nothing. And action without consistency does not last. Take small steps, but take them every day. And a small improvement repeated daily becomes a powerful transformation over time. Stop comparing, start becoming. Comparison steals peace. Someone else's chapter has nothing to do with yours. Focus on becoming better than the person you were yesterday, not better than someone else today. Your journey is valid. Your struggles are shaping you. Your pace is perfect for your purpose. Be patient with the process. Rebuilding takes time. There will be days you feel motivated and days you feel exhausted. Do not quit on the difficult days. Those days are part of the education. Progress is not always visible, but it is always happening when you remain sincere and consistent. End with hope. Never underestimate what can change in 1 year, one decision, or one sincere effort. Our salute can be the year you regain discipline, clarity, and direction, not because life suddenly became easy, but because you became stronger. So stand firm, start today, take responsibility, learn continuously, and move forward with hope, because you are not late. You are exactly where rebuilding begins. Time is often misunderstood as an enemy, when in reality it is a teacher. Many people believe that once a certain age has passed or a certain year has arrived, opportunities are gone forever. This belief creates unnecessary pressure, regret, and self-doubt. The idea that you are late is not a fact. It is a perception shaped by comparison and unrealistic expectations. Life does not operate on a single universal schedule. Each individual develops according to their own circumstances, struggles, and lessons. What appears as delay is often preparation taking place quietly. Human growth is not linear. Some people achieve visible success early, while others spend years building foundations that are not immediately seen. Early achievement does not guarantee long-term fulfillment, just as late beginnings do not guarantee failure. Many people who appear ahead are still searching for clarity, discipline, and peace. Meanwhile, others who feel behind are slowly gaining wisdom, resilience, and self-awareness. These qualities often matter more than speed. Time is not against you when it is actively shaping you. But one of the biggest reasons people feel late is comparison. Modern society constantly highlights achievements, milestones, and success stories, creating the illusion that everyone is progressing faster than you. This comparison ignores hidden struggles, failed attempts, and unseen sacrifices. Measuring your life against someone else's timeline is intellectually unfair and emotionally damaging. Education teaches us that meaningful evaluation must consider context, background, and resources. Your journey has its own context, and your progress must be evaluated within that framework. Feeling late often leads to rushed decisions. When people believe time is running out, they chase shortcuts, ignore values, and pursue goals that do not align with their purpose. This creates temporary movement but long-term dissatisfaction. True progress requires clarity, patience, and intentional action. Time spent understanding yourself, correcting habits, and learning discipline is never wasted. In fact, it prevents future breakdowns. A strong structure built slowly will always outperform a weak structure built quickly. Another misunderstanding about time is the belief that past mistakes permanently define the future. Education teaches that failure is data, not a sentence. Each mistake provides information about what does not work, what needs improvement, and what skills are missing. When someone starts again after failure, they do so with experience, awareness, and maturity. This often allows them to progress faster and more effectively than before. Starting later with wisdom is often better than starting early without direction. Time also teaches responsibility. As people grow older, they become more capable of managing emotions, making informed decisions, and understanding consequences. These qualities are essential for society. Many people who achieve things early struggle to maintain them because they lack emotional discipline. Those who begin later often value their opportunities more deeply and protect them carefully. This is not delay. This is readiness. The belief that I should have been further by now is rooted in an imagined standard, not reality. There is no official deadline for learning, improving, healing, or rebuilding. Education is lifelong, and personal development does not expire. As long as learning continues, growth remains possible. The moment a person accepts this, pressure transforms into purpose. Instead of racing against time, they begin working with it. Time rewards consistency, not panic. Small, steady actions repeated daily accumulate into meaningful change. This process cannot be rushed, and it does not need to be. When someone commits to daily improvement, even late beginnings produce powerful outcomes. The key lesson is that progress depends more on direction than speed. Moving slowly in the right direction is far better than moving quickly without purpose. Believing you are not late restores hope. Hope fuels effort, and effort fuels transformation. When the mind stops fighting the clock, it begins focusing on responsibility and action. Time becomes a companion rather than a threat. It offers space to rebuild thoughtfully, learn deeply, and grow sustainably. In this understanding, every moment ahead is not proof of delay, but proof of possibility. Rebuilding is often mistaken as an external process, focused only on visible outcomes such as success, status, or material stability. In reality, lasting reconstruction begins internally, at the level of thought, intention, and character. Without inner correction, external achievements remain fragile and temporary. Education teaches that systems collapse when their foundations are weak, and the same principle applies to personal development. A person must first repair the internal structure before expecting long-term external results. The mind plays a central role in rebuilding. Thought patterns determine reactions, decisions, and persistence. A negative mindset creates self-sabotage, while a disciplined mindset encourages growth even in difficulty. Rebuilding the mind requires conscious effort, identifying limiting beliefs, replacing destructive self-talk, and training the mind to respond rather than react. This is not an emotional exercise, but a cognitive one. The brain adapts through repetition, and consistent positive framing gradually reshapes perception and behavior. Your character is another internal pillar that must be rebuilt. Skills may open doors, but character determines how long those doors remain open. Honesty, patience, humility, and accountability are not abstract virtues. They are practical tools for stability. When individuals lack character, even talent becomes dangerous. Rebuilding character involves self-reflection and responsibility, especially during moments when no one is watching. Education emphasizes integrity because systems function properly only when individuals uphold ethical standards. Habits act as the bridge between internal intentions and external outcomes. People often attempt to change their lives without changing their routines. This approach fails because habits shape identity over time. Rebuilding yourself requires examining daily actions, how time is spent, how distractions are managed, and how discipline is practiced. Small habits repeated daily reinforce either progress or stagnation. Sustainable change comes from replacing harmful habits with beneficial ones, not from sudden motivation. Emotional regulation is another essential internal area. Many setbacks are not caused by lack of ability, but by uncontrolled emotions, such as anger, fear, or impatience. Rebuilding emotionally means learning to pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom. Emotional intelligence allows individuals to handle criticism, delay gratification, and remain stable under pressure. These skills are learned through practice, not talent. Education highlights emotional awareness because it directly influences decision-making quality. Self-awareness forms the core of internal rebuilding. Without understanding strengths, weaknesses, triggers, and values, progress becomes inconsistent. Self-awareness is developed through honest reflection, feedback, and accountability. It requires humility because acknowledging flaws can be uncomfortable. This discomfort is educational. It provides clarity. A person who understands themselves can set realistic goals, choose suitable paths, and avoid repeating destructive patterns. A purpose aligns internal rebuilding with meaningful direction. Without purpose, discipline feels like punishment and effort feels pointless. Purpose provides motivation that lasts beyond temporary excitement. Rebuilding purpose involves redefining priorities and understanding why certain goals matter. When actions are aligned with purpose, consistency becomes easier. Education teaches that motivation driven by meaning is more sustainable than motivation driven by pressure or comparison. An inner rebuilding also requires patience. Internal change is slow because it involves unlearning deeply rooted behaviors and beliefs. Expecting immediate results leads to frustration and abandonment of effort. Patience allows space for gradual improvement. Each small internal victory strengthens confidence and reinforces commitment. Over time, these internal shifts naturally influence external circumstances. When the inner structure is restored, external rebuilding becomes a byproduct rather than a struggle. Opportunities are handled with wisdom, success is managed responsibly, and setbacks are faced with resilience. Rebuilding from within is not optional, it is foundational. Without it, progress remains unstable. With it, growth becomes sustainable, meaningful, and enduring. Transformation is often imagined as a sudden event, a moment where everything changes at once. This belief creates unrealistic expectations and leads to disappointment when immediate results do not appear. In reality, meaningful change is the outcome of repeated small actions performed consistently over time. Education emphasizes incremental learning because mastery is built through practice, not instant perfection. Small steps may seem insignificant in isolation, but their cumulative effect is powerful and long-lasting. Consistency is the principle that turns effort into results. A single action rarely changes a life, but repeated actions shape habits, and habits shape identity. When individuals commit to small improvements each day, they reduce resistance and increase sustainability. Large, dramatic changes often fail because they demand more willpower than a person can maintain. Small steps respect human psychology, making progress manageable and repeatable. Patience is inseparable from gradual transformation. Many people abandon their efforts because they expect immediate rewards. However, education teaches delayed gratification as a key factor in long-term success. Growth operates on a time lag. Effort is invested first, and results appear later. Understanding this principle prevents discouragement. When patience is applied, individuals continue their efforts even when progress is not visible, trusting the process rather than their emotions. Our small steps also allow room for learning and correction. When progress is gradual, mistakes become manageable rather than overwhelming. Each step provides feedback, highlighting what works and what needs adjustment. This creates a cycle of continuous improvement. Large leaps leave little space for correction, increasing the risk of failure. Incremental progress encourages experimentation, reflection, and adaptation, which are essential educational practices. Discipline is strengthened through repetition. Performing small tasks daily builds self-trust and confidence. Each completed action reinforces the belief that change is possible. Over time, discipline becomes automatic rather than forced. This is why small steps are more effective than intense but short-lived motivation. Education reinforces routine because consistency trains the mind and body to operate efficiently without relying on emotional highs. Another advantage of small steps is resilience. When progress is built gradually, setbacks are less devastating. Missing one day or facing one failure does not destroy the entire process. Individuals can resume without feeling defeated. This resilience keeps momentum alive. Sustainable transformation requires the ability to recover quickly, not the absence of failure. Small steps support this recovery by maintaining flexibility. Long-term transformation depends on alignment, rather than speed. Moving slowly in the right direction produces better outcomes than rushing without clarity. Small steps allow individuals to stay aligned with their values and goals. This alignment reduces burnout and confusion. Education teaches that quality of direction matters more than quantity of effort. Consistent, purposeful actions gradually lead to meaningful results. Small steps also promote self-awareness. As individuals engage in daily effort, they become more conscious of their strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. This awareness improves decision-making and prevents repeating harmful patterns. Reflection becomes part of the process, transforming action into learning. Without reflection, effort becomes mechanical and less effective. The compounding effect of small steps is often underestimated. Wat swik stunts in season free sister weeks as stunters ahead heishes schism ims minor to turbot. What seems minor today accumulates over weeks, months, and years. Skills improve, confidence grows, and habits solidify. This compounding is not dramatic, but it is reliable. Education highlights compounding because it explains why persistence often outperforms talent. Those who remain consistent eventually surpass those who rely on short bursts of effort. Sustainable transformation is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing something consistently. Small steps protect energy, encourage patience, and support long-term commitment. When individuals embrace gradual progress, they shift from seeking quick results to building lasting change. This approach ensures that transformation is not only achieved but maintained. Purpose provides direction to effort. Without it, actions become scattered and motivation weakens. Many people work hard yet feel unfulfilled because their energy is not aligned with a meaningful objective. Education emphasizes purpose because learning without direction leads to confusion. When a person understands why they are rebuilding, their actions gain clarity. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding decisions and helping individuals prioritize what truly matters over what merely feels urgent. A clear sense of purpose transforms responsibility into commitment. Accountability begins when individuals stop blaming circumstances and start recognizing their role in outcomes. This does not mean ignoring external challenges, but acknowledging that responses to those challenges remain within personal control. Education teaches responsibility because progress depends on ownership. When accountability is embraced, excuses lose their power and effort becomes consistent. A person who accepts responsibility no longer waits for ideal conditions, they work with what is available. Accountability also strengthens discipline. When individuals hold themselves accountable, they establish standards for behavior and effort. These standards create structure, reducing reliance on motivation, which is often inconsistent. Accountability can be internal, driven by personal values, or external, supported by mentors, routines, or systems. Both forms are educational tools that reinforce consistency. They teach the mind that actions have consequences and that progress requires follow-through,